Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throw Down Your Questions, episode 416. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
We are back again. It is time to throw down those questions.
Yeah, first Throw Down Your Questions of 2023. We also got Carlos Romero in the house.
Yo.
Adam Vale.
Hey, how you doing?
And Brett Murdoch.
What up, people?
All right. First of all, we want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Torrance Davis, who was with us for our first episode of 2023. And Riku Sun One, the only one, was also here. Great times. We didn't even, we had shown us and we just said, fuck it. We're just talking Torrance.
Yeah, literally.
It was great.
Literally, it just, the show went where Torrance went. So
it.
He felt like talking about not liking new games or not, caring about
Tupperware
new
missing,
movies.
fishing.
all that stuff.
Talking about fishing. It was a very casual episode of Throw.
It was a very Warzone type episode.
Exactly,
yes.
A very Warzone, and the great featured image.
Yes, there are two people that we cannot stop. There are such forces to be reckoned with. They will take over our show.
Yes.
That will be Torrance Davis and Hip Hop Gamer.
Yeah. And when those two are on, we just okay, you guys.
That's it. We're along. We're along for the ride. They've already taken control of the roller coaster, and we're just on the back, just enjoying the off run.
That's it, man. And we wouldn't have it any other way, So shout out to those guys. Also, shout out to Chris, who is still recuperating, so hopefully he will recover soon. And we are still missing Brian. We don't know where he might be. Still in Dubai. We don't know what's going on.
He could be in Dubai, man. He could be on the top of the highest tower in Dubai, doing a Tom Cruise, like sticking on the walls.
Does he jump in the Twitter?
No, we haven't
heard from him in a while now.
Weeks, So we don't know. We don't know what happened.
No, but I'm hoping. I'm hoping everything's okay. But
Yeah, who knows, right? Shit. All right.
I don't know. I don't know anything about anything of the goings on in Dubai.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
He went there for vacation or work?
Yeah, vacation. Yeah.
It was for like a get together.
It was family. Yeah,
it was a family get together.
Took the whole family out of shit. That's crazy. So anyway, shout out to Brian. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into some questions, man. I guess the theme is, what are you looking forward to in 2023? So got a lot of questions about that. So let's get into it, man. Mr. Subgata leads us off.
But by the way, welcome back, Mr. Gator. And we know you've been pretty busy. We haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, man. His question is pretty straightforward. Again, this is one of those questions we probably should answer every 3 months or so because the answer will change. Also, Ace Ali asked a similar question. Basically, what are you looking forward to playing this year? And Ace Ali specifically asked, what are you looking forward to playing in January?
There's only one game. There's only one.
Let me look it up. I don't even know what's coming. I know Forspoken is coming.
Dead Space remake. That's the one I'm.
Oh yeah. You're right.
That's a January release.
Yeah.
So that's the only one that comes to mind that I'm really forward.
But
especially after Protocol.
Oh yeah, I've said this many times. I was not looking forward to the Dead Space remake because I'm like the game's perfect. Don't fuck it up. But Collision Protocol was so bad. I need this to wash the taste out of my mouth. What a terrible game that was, man.
Here's a funny move, which I find is usually when a new version's coming out of a game that's been remade, the original gets taken from off of like eShops and stuff, right? Because they want you to go and get the new one. But EA has done something different because not only is Dead Space 1, 2, 3, they're all part of the EA Play and play that on Game Pass or the EA service, but on Xbox they're giving away now in their perks section the upgraded bundle for Dead Space.
Interesting.
Like and I'm like, yeah, interesting. Why do that like weeks?
Well, it's usually. Well, this is the big difference is that it's a different SKU. It's considered a remaster, so they're not you
I know, but usually they just put like when we Burnout, for example. Remember that? Tony, remember the Burnout? The regular Burnout was a backward pad was on all the other, and they removed it when the
but that game is still the same game.
Yeah, that's the thing. This remake is an actual remake. It's not just a remaster.
Yeah, that one was a remaster.
So basically,
it's
different. Again, this is the reason I was kind of cautious about it. I was like, because it's a remake. It's not just a remaster.
Yeah.
You know. By the way, real quick, just for fun, let's look over the games that are coming out in January. We got One Piece Odyssey just on PC. I'm guessing the game must have come out before. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, that's coming out for the first time on next gen consoles. But it came out like 2 years ago. Deja vu. I'm like, yo, I reviewed this game in fucking January 2020. You know. One Piece Odyssey, another one. I guess it's a new game. By the way, I don't care about anime games, so I completely ignorant about this shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, One Piece Odyssey for everything. No Switch though. A Space for the Unbound. Never heard of this game. Colossal Cave, another one I never heard of. Fire Emblem Engage for the Switch. Ryzen, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, current last gen game. Forspoken, which is PS5 and PC, and Dead Space Remake. So yeah, very slow month for sure. A lot of
unless you're into anime, then
if you're into anime,
and because you got all these One Piece and Dragon Ball Z shit dropping.
Yeah, you know what? I think we'll just stick with that version of the question because we kind of answered what games we're looking forward to, during the last episode of the last storyline of last year. You know, so we'll move on. What do we have here?
Can I just ask you guys real quick, like, what's the public consensus on Forspoken, since that seems to change almost weekly? Not here, but just
I think
nobody seems to know how to feel about that.
That's the consensus.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna review it, to be honest, because I've already previewed it and shit. But we'll see. You know, damn, Mob Hit said trash. Oh boy, Fire Emblem.
The big ones are supposed to be February, March. Because remember, everything that got pushed into 2023 kept saying, "Oh, February, March." I mean,
you know what? Let's have some fun, man. I'm gonna go through these games right now.
Okay.
Okay. So Deliver Us Mars. This is February games now.
February.
I don't know. I never heard of it.
That's the one with the chick that's in space. That looks like a Dead Space. Remember, we're like, oh, it looks like this, and it's not. But it's a woman in space.
Okay. Here's the we're gonna talk about this at the end of the show. Hogwarts Legacy, controversial game that's coming out in February. Thea Rhythm, Final Bar Line, Wild Hearts, Like a Dragon Ishin. Wait.
Whoa.
Is that coming out next year? Wait.
Samurai, Like a Dragon.
That's the Samurai one already?
Wait. Oh, calm down. I thought it was like the new Like a Dragon.
No,
Like
it's the Samurai one.
Oh, okay.
They said the Samurai one was coming.
Yeah, because remember they dropped the Yakuza name. Now everything's Like a Dragon.
Yep.
Okay, I could bring my hype down. I thought it was a sequel to fucking Like a Dragon.
Yeah, no. They want to confuse people more. So
it is a what's happened.
A sequel to Like a Dragon. You know, Dracusa 7.
Yeah.
No, it's now. Yeah, now everything is sort of like everything in the Yakuza franchise are now becoming Like a Dragon now.
Yeah. All right. We got Atomic Heart. This is a game I've heard of. I don't know too much about it though.
Atomic Heart, isn't that that's not Pinocchio, right?
No, but it looks crazy like that. It looks like a BioShock game.
Okay, that's cool.
Special effects stuff. That'll be on Game Pass.
Yeah. They're still making Digimon games? Shit.
There was a new season of Digimon.
Yeah, Digimon World, new next orders coming out. Horizon Call of the Mountain, that's on PSVR 2.
How come they didn't call it Call of the Mountain King?
Company of Heroes 3 for the PC.
Of Heroes.
Yeah. Sons of the Forest on PC. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe Switch. Is that a remake or something? I don't know.
It's a Kirby game. That's enough.
Yeah,
Does Judas come out this year?
What happened?
Does Judas come out this year?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
That's for a few years out. They didn't even give a date for that one.
Octopath Traveler 2 on PC. I thought that was already on PC. The fuck are they talking about? For PS4 and PS5, that's new. It was already on Switch. What are you talking about?
Octopath Traveler.
The first one? You said two,
the second,
right?
two. Yeah.
Maybe only the first one was
it's coming out on PlayStation. I know that. That's new. And Adam, here you go. Destiny 2, Lightfall.
As I remember, Octopath Traveler has not been on any of the big consoles.
I don't know, Adam. That's February. That doesn't seem too stacked to me, man.
No. It's because of the dates that we're giving. So maybe the games that were for February got moved to March. Take a look.
Hold on. Octopath Traveler is already on Xbox. It's on Game Pass.
Is it?
Yeah. So I think that it's new for PlayStation. This listing is kind of fucked up. Because it lists Switch. I'm like, it came out on Switch 2 years ago. What are you talking about? I'm just gonna go through, March and stuff. I'll look up. You said March is a big one. All right, let's see.
March is
okay. So let's go down the line here. The day before, PC, never heard of it. Wulong Fallen Dynasty.
Yep,
that's the
That's the Chinese game.
That was the Chinese Ghost of Tsushima, right?
Yes.
No, it's the
Team Ninja one.
The one with the monkey.
All right.
That's not the one with the monkey. That's a different game. Wulong is one. I think that's the one that
this is
that was announced pretty.
Yeah,
I think that was the one by Namco, right?
I get this one confused with that monkey one.
Yeah, Wukong is it Wukong?
Wukong.
This is Wulong.
Yeah, Wulong.
Wukong is Monkey King. Wulong is different, something different.
Last of Us Part 1 on PC.
Oh, I'm hyped.
Has that caused any controversy?
Nah, not really. Oni, Road of the Mightiest Oni. What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
Skull and Bones, Adam. Here, let's go.
Yeah.
It's a
let's go. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. There's to go. There we go. There we go. Some real shit.
There you go.
Bayonetta.
You're getting excited, man. You're not
finally.
supposed to be. You're not supposed to be getting excited.
I'm not excited for Skull and Bones, though. I don't give a fuck.
No, we're talking about the Jedi game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Bayonetta Origins. Is that bullshit we saw?
Yeah, that's the top angle game.
And I think it's only on Switch.
It is. Actually, I remember I was like, they made a Bayonetta game that actually is like that the Switch can actually handle graphically. Okay.
Because it looks bad?
Yes. It looks okay. It's just, it's not
okay.
It's not graphically intensive. That's what it is.
No, I mean,
I don't care for the new art direction.
It could run okay on a mobile phone.
Yeah. Have a nice death.
Man, that sounds like the most backhanded compliment of the night.
I mean, it can.
Have a nice death. I never heard of this game, so on Switch. Oh, Adam, here you go. Resident Evil 4 remake.
Resident Evil 4. Yep, that's the other big one.
And Crime Boss, Rockaway City. I remember that game.
That's the one that we saw at the thing.
I remember.
Over at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
And then
this is interesting. I'm going to keep going down line here. So Hogwarts Legacy. So it's coming out first on next gen or current gen, excuse me, and then in April it comes out on last gen. Very interesting.
Well, it is Warner Brothers, and I'm sure they don't want to give up the numbers of people that are on the previous generation. So you're gonna get a gimped version of Hogwarts.
That's all for March. You just said that's for April.
Yeah, that's for art. I threw April in there just for fun.
Because WWE, the Wrestling 2K23, is supposed to be March. At least that's what they told.
Not listed here.
The last financials, they said it's for a March 2023 release.
Not listed here. Not listed at all. By the way, Brett, no word on Judas. It just says 2023. So
okay.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. Some stuff to look forward to. Let's move on.
I mean, I'm not the only one excited for that game, right?
Which one? I don't remember it.
Dude, it's the new BioShock.
Oh yeah. I'll check that out. I'll check that out. Sure.
That's the new game by.
Yes, I'm very little. Yes. I am actually looking good because that's the game he's been talking about for years. Like
that's the game he's been working on for 10 years.
Yeah, he called it that endless narrative. He was trying to crack that code or cut the Gordian knot. I guess he finally did it. So we'll see. All right, let's move on here. Okay, so we already answered Ace Ali's question as well. So his other question is, what did you think of, Manny, this will be more for you. I think you were talking about it. What did you think of Sony's PlayStation news from CES 2023? Did they even talk about PlayStation at CES? I know they had a car or something.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. So,
the accessibility controller.
The accessibility controller. Now, I got Sony did a really good job of throwing stuff about it after the fact. They actually got your boy to talk about it a little bit because
Hip Hop Gamer.
Able Gamer.
Oh, nice.
they actually were heavily involved in this one, and then from what they're saying, this is actually truly an adaptive controller, unlike the Xbox one, which you can actually pull the thing apart and adjust it, to your disability or what you have going on with you.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So it's like a circle, has like different. Yeah, very interesting. So they had Steven Spohn talking about it.
They had him talking about it, yeah, as well as the other folks from Able Gamer and a few game journalists who were also the same. So it's funny. It's so weird that this came out, because I was talking. We were somewhat talking about something like this, and I wrote a tweet about, like, for once I'd like to hear the actual people that have these things wrong with them talk about this stuff, rather than just having some guy literally saying, "Hey, I'm going to give you the stage," and then immediately step in front of them and be like, "Yo, I know everything."
Yeah.
No.
You're right.
So the gloves are not part of the VR. Are these different?
These are different. These are the adaptive controllers for people that are disabled. So in other words, the one big complaint, a complaint about like adaptive, accessibility is obviously the controllers. Not everybody can use the controllers. So this is sort of to give people who have disabilities the ability to use the controller, control their games, but also adjust it to their their thing. So you can pull things modular off of it.
Yeah, because
it's modular.
And this is something because I've spoken about accessibility. So I talk. This is behind the scenes stuff, right? I was talking to one developer. I ranked it up. This was at Sony's PlayStation Experience show, right behind the scenes, and he was talking about how his company. I don't know if they had any involvement with this controller, but he was talking about that the problem with accessible controllers in the past was that they were still trying to make it for everybody. So it's like you can't do that because everybody has a different disability. But the problem is obviously these people are more thinking about money than they are thinking about helping people. So they're like, okay, so we're gonna make it modular, but it still has to be sold to regular people. And Xbox, they finally tried to go. It's like, no, we're gonna actually market it to the actual disabled community and stuff. And now it seems like Sony's taking that even further, which is dope. Because remember, we were like, hey, what's up with Sony? How come they're not doing nothing? And Sony, behind the scenes. I can say this now because after the fact, because I asked Sean Layden, behind the scenes, like, yo, what's up? And he's like, yeah, we got something coming, and I guess this is it. So very cool. Although let's be real here, and I got to throw these motherfuckers under the bus. Nintendo ain't coming out with this shit. And as a matter of fact, I even had some accessibility developers. When I asked about Nintendo, and I knew what was going to happen, I asked.
He chuckled.
They laughed. They laughed. Like, yeah, right. Nintendo, scumbag company, man.
I'm really surprised in Japan with all the things on Alibaba and all those weird things that people make.
Alibaba is Chinese.
It's Chinese, but they're big out there. The Alibaba store.
It's not
big out there.
No,
I don't think so.
I mean, it's big all over.
Big here.
It's cheap.
I mean, I would think if they made it over here,
it's big because it's cheap.
In Asia. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But I don't know how this has anything to do with accessibility, buddy.
Because I would think that some third party or some bullshit would make some kind of accessibility type controller.
You got to understand, when it comes to Alibaba, all they do is make knockoffs.
That's what I'm
of products that already exist. So they wouldn't be making a knockoff of that Xbox controller or any of the PlayStation controller.
All right, hold on. I have to kind of stop the show right now. So I'm fucking confused right now.
Yeah.
I heard. Remember. Okay, let me take it back. Alibaba. What is this? It's the
Amazon over in.
It's not Amazon. It's literally
like Amazon. People keep saying that they get all kinds of stuff.
So it's a store. Alibaba's a store then.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I asked is because you got to understand what just went through my head. Someone said Alibaba is Chinese. I'm like, I'm sorry, Alibaba. Like that's Alibaba. It's 1,000 Arab nights and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? This reminds me of one of my friends. Mike's wife, right? She was like, hey, I bought an ottoman. I'm like, you bought a person from the Ottoman Empire? Like, what are you talking about? I had no idea it was a piece of furniture.
It's like I know a lot of people that collect a lot of the weird looking emulation consoles and stuff, and they get them from Alibaba.
And those things are all sort of knockoffs of.
Yeah, they're all nothing really.
It's literally knock off the site. Like anything you could find that if you want to action figures and all that stuff. In other words, it's that gray area of knockoffs.
Uh-oh.
Pretty much what you would find in Chinatown. Now it's a store.
Manny, those who remain.
Yeah, those who remain. Yeah, that's yeah. It's like that. It's like the knockoffs of all these different things. So, but you also have to be careful about what you buy on there, because obviously it's making it's a knockoff.
So for $20 when you're getting a 2 terabyte SSD, that's not real. Is that what you're saying? It's not real.
You're probably getting. You got to be very careful because some of those things are just questionable.
I didn't remember the question. Oh yeah, Sony accessibility controllers.
But yeah, the accessibility controller. Like I don't think Alibaba was going to be making an accessibility controller.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? I didn't really. I was too busy focused on computer stuff.
What was it? What else was there?
Just for PlayStation specifically.
They just talked about their VR initiative. And that's coming out soon. It's actually available now for pre-order.
The gloves. Those are the gloves?
No.
That they showed with the Horizon pulling the thing.
They did show a little bit of Horizon VR, but I think they showed a little bit of Horizon VR before. And then they showed
it before, yeah.
How many titles they did.
But it's the gloves. It's the gloves. They kept saying, and they had haptic feedback on the gloves. Like the person was pulling and you see their hand shaking.
Adam with the haptic feedback, man.
Yeah, I mean, they do have new controllers, but they didn't really showcase them on this CES thing. They just said it was just like a crash course into things that were PlayStation. And then the other thing they talked about is their numbers. That they're now no longer experiencing shortages, and you can pretty much go anywhere and buy yourself a PlayStation 5, which is good. And yeah, there wasn't really that like anything that we didn't know. But the biggest thing that they did show was the adaptive controller and the fact that PlayStations are inside of this fancy new car that they're making with Mitsubishi.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So there's a new car, Sony, main, and Mitsubishi essentially have a joint company which is going to be making these sort of Sony cars with Sony technology, and so it has like 60 cameras around it. It's got a PlayStation 5 on it, and a bunch of screens inside of it. It's an electric car. Pretty much looks like a Tesla, just with Sony shit inside of it.
Dangerous, man.
What was that one years ago? It was like Toyota Matrix or whatever, and it came with a laptop and a little swivel thing for the laptop for someone in the back seat. Like they pull it down and it flaps. Little laptop hiding.
There's also GeForce Now in some cars and shit. Like I saw that. NVIDIA was talking about that. Because NVIDIA, obviously, they do stuff for cars as well.
And also the other game related thing is that they have a partnership with Unreal. Unreal has something to do with this. So the car. So essentially, the car runs Unreal.
Oh, okay.
5.
Interesting. All right, good. Thank you for telling us about that. Good stuff. All right, next up, Jay Shep in the house, man. All right, this one's. I saw this kind of making the rounds before the year ended, so I'm glad he asked us about this. Would anyone on the panel eventually want to see Steam/Steam Deck exclusives? That would defeat the point of it. That would absolutely.
I don't understand. Yeah, it's because dumbasses are saying, "Oh, it needs exclusives."
No, it doesn't.
It's everything. This thing plays all your platforms as it is. What? Why would it need exclusives? It doesn't.
Yeah, they don't need to run people to it. Like their business, their business model isn't around the box. It's around their store. Their online store.
It's about the portability of their stores. Like, hey, take Steam
you can play everywhere. All these other console manufacturer exclusives on this device.
Yeah. So it's not about exclusives. You can't think of it. Yeah, go ahead.
You literally can play. You can literally play Sony games and Xbox games on this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And some Nintendo games too, if you know what you're doing.
Sail the high seas. They're going the opposite direction, man. They want other people to make their console.
Yeah,
the whole Steam box thing.
But it's not. But it's not. Again, it's not their. It's not their main business is their store. This is just like, okay, obviously now you have this breakout unit where it's like, okay, now you can take this thing with you. Yeah. But it's not like they don't need exclusives they do have exclusive Valve games.
That's right.
Well, not all. I mean, they're on Xbox, Portal 2 and all that stuff.
Those games are on there, but not the new ones.
Do PC exclusives count? Because there's a lot of those.
There's a lot of those, so I mean, you could literally say that those are the exclusives.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, But the thing is, because I think people are trying to, think of it like a normal console. It isn't.
Yeah, they're thinking of it as like a normal console when it's not.
Yeah, because again, if you have a Steam, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that, man. All right, but good question nonetheless. I'm glad you asked it. All right, next up, another one from Mr. J. Shep. Will Nintendo Switch overtake PlayStation 2 in all-time sales overall before Nintendo's next-gen console releases? There's another good question. Let me look up the Switch sales numbers, because is it getting close? Right now, PS2 is the highest-selling console of all times.
It was like 170 or something like that? Like some ridiculous
number? Ridiculous, yeah. Okay, let's look that up first. So, the PS2 has sold 158 million units according to Statistica, which is more reputable than fucking VG charts, Okay, so 158 million units. Let's see Switch. Nintendo usually provides these numbers themselves.
They're over.
Unless they're doing horrible, and then they will talk about it.
Switch lifetime sales. Yeah, there we go. All right. 114 million.
It's possible.
It needs to sell another 40 million though. 48, 45 million ish. Carlos, you math. I'm not. Yeah.
That's close enough. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I don't know, but because the Switch, how long do you think it's going to last? Another 2 years, right? You think it's really going to sell 45 million in 2 years?
It really depends if they do come up with the Switch Pro, and it quote unquote still part of the Switch brand. I don't know if that's going to count for Switch sales. That's the tricky part.
Because if they really interesting though. Okay, because this is from November, right? Right now, the game on this list, it says the Game Boy sold 118 million, but I could have sworn I saw a news post talking about how the Switch outsold the Game Boy. So it's got to be 119 million, 120 million then.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, the question still stands. Can it sell 38 million, 40 million copies and units in 2 years? Unless something banger comes out, because we did see it sell that many in a year before,
Oh, Mario Kart, yeah.
We have seen it sell that much in 1 year. So, you're right, Carlos. It's not entirely out of the possibility.
I don't know if a new Zelda could pull that number.
And it's pretty interesting because now we see Zelda as a mega system seller. Before, it was a big system seller. Yeah. But with Breath of the Wild, that just turned it up, up its head. So anything's possible, especially with a Switch where Nintendo doesn't really care about bringing anything new to the table. So they'll milk that cow as dry as possible until they release a new thing. So yeah, and Nintendo fans, they put OLED. They're gonna put I don't know, Wi-Fi 6 or something, and people are gonna flock and buy that shit.
Oh my god, Wi-Fi 6 the first time on any handheld system. Okay, bro.
So it's very possible, and like Mighty Nerd mentioned, it says it will. They counted the DSi and DSi LL as DS units. Yep. So it's very plausible that if they do a Switch Pro, it's just going to count as Switch sales. And
yeah. You're right.
And it'll count towards it unless they rebrand it, which I really doubt, because Switch is pretty big, big name.
Yeah, they're not going to switch that. They're not
going to switch it.
They're not going to switch the Switch. Good stuff. All right, let's move on here. Tune Medic, Mr. Michael Santiago.
Yo.
Real quick, they didn't. They did it last time. They had the Wii. It was a mega success, and then the next console was the Wii U.
The Switch U. So,
the Switch U is next.
Right. Anyway, Michael's question is: what are some of your favorite sounds in video games? For example, Splinter Cell goggle turning on, opening a chest in Zelda, the Sega sound, etc. Like for instance, like in Mortal Kombat when you do an uppercut and shit.
That's exclamation from Final Fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big.
The the clicking noise of getting an item from Metal Gear that's been from the original Metal Gear.
I mean, Metal Gear has a lot of those good sounds.
Or the explanation place, you know that thing that's been.
Oh yeah,
Konami doing
or
that,
even the sound of like the codec coming up, like you know,
yeah,
like
yeah. Or the codec noise itself.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
I mean, how many people do you know who got that shit on their phone?
Yeah, I know one at least. You know.
I mean, I used to have the
two versions. I have two versions. I have my main ringtone is the Metal Gear 3 one, which is actually a slightly different noise, and then one specific person has a Metal Gear 1 one.
Uh-oh. Killer instant combos. Yeah.
I don't know. That, right?
Defeat screens from Street Fighter games. Yeah.
Or it could just be Hadouken.
Yeah, that's true. That's the sound effect. Yeah, or like the hitting sound.
So here's a funny thing. So I got the new arcade one of Capcom 35th anniversary. So when it turns on, it says Arcade 1 but then Ryu comes out and he goes Hadouken, and he goes and he hits it and he bounces because it's the Hadouken edition. And so now I hear that every time. So, Hadouken.
That's awesome.
Hadouken.
Yeah. Or Adam that Gears of War when he chainsaw is like.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, Brett, you got any sounds?
Just the Final Fantasy VII victory music.
Yeah.
The best is in 15 when the guy did it with his mouth, just like what we did.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
I made that into a ringtone.
Man.
Just that was awesome.
The fanfare. Yeah.
Oh, I always loved that one from Final Fight. All right, moving on here. Dumeki. All right, this is a bit of a fun one. For an alternative game awards, what would you choose for these categories? So we're gonna go down the line. He provided like a bunch of categories.
All of the TD awards.
Yeah. So the first one is okay. By the way, we should establish this. Is this for games that came out in 2022 or for all time? I'm gonna leave for all time just for fun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I mean if it's going to be the Game Awards, it's got to be this year.
Oh, okay. So we got to go. Okay, well, let's do.
2022.
Wait, who asked this question? We could clarify this.
Is he in the chat?
Who asked the question?
It's
Tumeke. He's not. Yeah.
I haven't seen Tumeke in the chat.
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
No, he has been there.
Yo, Tumeke, how do you want us to answer? For all time or for just for 2022?
2022.
Right. Thank you, sir. All right. So the first one is Don't Believe the Hype Award, which is the game that seemed to be well loved, but you don't understand why. I don't know. Again, 2022 was a bad fucking year for games, man.
Believe the Hype game.
So a game that was overhyped, basically. You're like, why people care for this?
I mean, some people would put Stray on there.
Why, really? That's
I'm going to say something. I got a controversial. I'm going to
go for it. Adam.
Elden Ring.
Oh,
because
don't give me that, Adam. Adam, don't give me that.
Wait. As they say in Germany, espérate un momento. I'm going to say why. Because not that it looked like a bad game. It looked beautiful, gameplay and all that, but it's a Dark Souls. Like I know they kept saying, oh, it's so different, like what I usually say with my Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But this looks pretty much the same shit. And then you still hear about all these bosses crazy and all. So I feel like, all right, it's great. It looks great. I get it. But why are you going gaga like it's the second coming of gaming? Because it looks just like a better version of those type of Dark Souls.
I can feel that one.
Okay, go ahead, Brett.
Yeah.
It's not so much that it's revolutionary, it's that it took what was good and almost seamlessly incorporated open world design into it in a way that surpassed most current open world games. So it's kind of like the whole like argument for Horizon, like, oh, it's the same but better, but it did have a whole kind of new aspect to it. And I think everybody was so afraid that it was going to lose that Dark Souls feel when it went open world. That the fact that it didn't was kind of it's this weird place between revolutionary and not revolutionary. It didn't change the game, but it brought a new flavor to the game that was already there. If that makes any sense.
Side note: do you see the interesting part of them calling that world the Land Between, or the Lands Between?
Oh, there's a lot of.
No, but I mean, if you think about it, that open world is the lands between all the giant dungeons that would normally be one game, right?
There is that. It's honestly a pretty big lore question. My personal belief is that it's the land between the influence of all the outer gods. Like it's basically Middle Earth.
But I feel like it also has a bit of a meta part of it. Where
yeah, man, he's talking about the metaphor part of it. You know?
The metaphor of it in the whole world, because
no, he's not wrong.
I'm doing something on the.
now there's actually land between the dungeons that you would warp to.
Yeah, no, I hear. True. Yeah, no, I mean, Brett hit it on the head. It's like, yes, at its core, it's fundamentally a Dark Souls game. That hasn't changed. But adding in that open world not only enhances what you have, but also made other open world games look stupid in comparison. You know, it's like, oh shit, it made other open world games look so bad that you had other developers get jealous, man. You know, let's be real here. Let's be real. You know, so but you know, if that works for you, that's cool. But I don't know. I can't think of one. I can't think of one like a game that like what again. Last year was so trash. I can't remember, man.
What
like, I'm trying to forget last year of gaming, to be honest.
I mean, God of War came out.
Yeah, but you know, and it was good. Don't get me wrong, but you know,
wait, it was good.
It was. Here's the thing.
It was great.
This is the don't believe the hype awards. So in other words,
we got it. Yeah, I mean,
and it's on the eye of the beholder as well. So
you could say that one indie game that people were losing their mind
whatever
over.
Pokemon game came out. There you go. That's my answer.
Me the broken Pokemon.
Ooh, okay. Didn't we get two of them? Was it Atreus or the other one?
Oh yeah, we got Arceus and we got the main.
I got one. Let's get the fanboys, man.
Okay, hold on, Tony. I think you know. Sometimes I can read your mind. Sometimes I can't.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, is this an indie game?
No.
Oh, damn it!
I thought it was going to be an indie game, but okay, go, Tony. Drop that bomb.
The Last of Us Part 1 remake.
Oh, dude!
There you go. That's the overhyped fucking game. You know.
I thought you were gonna say that vampire game.
Oh fuck that shit too.
Yeah, I got a controversial opinion.
Brett, drop that bomb.
The new Horizon Zero Dawn, man. I think the only reason that it got as much attention, and I know that it got overshadowed, but I think the only reason it got as much attention as it did was a PS exclusive. If it were a third-party game, nobody would have blinked at it.
Maybe. I'm going to add this. And remember, I like that game. I think it got nominated for Game of the Year literally by default because there was nothing else out last year. Like, in any other year, that game would not have been nominated. And I like the game, but I'm just being objective about it, you know?
It's not that it's a bad game. It's made of default.
Yeah.
It is brought to, one of those sort of, no rules pasta, everything in one pasta games,
the game
to its finest sheen.
Yeah,
but maybe that's what its problem.
The game gave you exactly what you wanted, no surprises, and that could be a problem. When I reviewed it, I'm like a crowd pleaser because that's what it was. It was like, here's a game that's not gonna rock the boat or do anything crazy. Here's a game you like the last one. We're gonna give you more of that. Be happy. And that's
think it would have been well received, but if it weren't a PlayStation exclusive, people would have just been like, "It's more of the same, man."
Yeah, I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
If it wasn't a PlayStation exclusive, it would sell more because
yeah, it could be on everything. That's true. All right, let's move on to the next category.
Maybe they will release their numbers.
Did everybody? But did everybody go, by the way, for that first one?
I don't really have an answer because I just don't.
I just want to call shenanigans on Adam.
Oh,
because
sure.
He literally,
I did get it.
He literally texted me like 2 days ago with an Elden Ring video.
Yeah, no, I didn't say I hate it. I don't think I'm playing it. I'm enjoying it.
He said
it's cool.
It. Yeah.
Me and Adam aren't friends anymore. Let's move on.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. The next one. The worst section of a game award, a stage or mission that had you tearing your hair out in frustration. Can I just name an entire game?
Oh no, Callisto Protocol.
Yes. That fuck. But to be specific with that game, literally that 3-hour block that I played, where I faced the same boss type 4 times in a row. This it wasn't clever or anything. Like, oh shit, I gotta defeat him. Using this. No, it's the same fucking way to beat him every single time, and it got stupid. By the fourth time, I shut the game off. I'm like, I can't do this right now. I rage quit. I've rage quit so much that fucking game, like 3 times. Like I can't fucking do this. I've actually beat it, obviously, but what a terrible fucking game that was. Man.
Was this because you were dying?
No, because
curious.
It was the same fucking boss.
It's boring. It gets boring real fast.
So like literally, you just got to the third time. And you're like, I don't even want to do this anymore.
Yeah, it was like, okay, the first time I fought him, he was like an elevator. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And plus, he was an actual new type of enemy type. I just been fighting the same dudes for 50 hours. I'm like, okay, this is cool. Kind of boring, but cool. And then, like, oh, this type of enemy shows up again. Oh, but we're in a colony now. Am I going to do anything cool? No, beat him the same way. Oh, now we're fighting him in a server room. Okay, in closed space. By the 4th time in a psychiatric ward, I'm like, I'm done.
Quit treating him like a mini boss. It's just an enemy at that point.
Yeah, so exactly. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Well, like, I don't mind when some games do that. Calling back to
again, Brett, 3-hour stretch. This happened. This was like condensed.
Well, no, I know. Like, I kind of like it when you find like a mini boss early in the game. And it just turns out to be an enemy from later in the game, way earlier than you need to meet them. Like, I don't mind that. Just, give them a health bar and a name the first time, and then cut that shit out. Don't make a big dramatic thing about it.
So stupid. Yeah, so that's mine. Adam, do you have anything, a section of a game in 2022 that annoyed you? I guess Callisto Protocol probably counts for you too,
yeah. Yeah, that it's just, I kept waiting for something else to happen. And going into this, it's like, oh, okay, now this is where it gets crazy. Well, no, same fucking enemy. Okay, now we found this person. Now it's going to change. Oh, nope, more of the same shit. Where's the ammo? Don't have the ammo. Why can't I move any faster? This sucks. It's a key. The things, basic things, like just dodging and stuff that I get they don't want him to do this because like, oh, well, he's not a soldier. He's a pilot. But still, some people can jog. Normal people can just, or like move a little bit. He's like, and you can't see behind you and you're getting hit and the healing takes too long, and even adding that, it's like, why I counted like 5 or 6 seconds we have to bend down, take it out, stick in your neck, wait for it to fill up. I hate that.
Yeah, terrible game. All right, Brett, is there a section of a game that annoyed you last year?
I mean, kind of. I'd love to hate all the poison fucking swamps in every Souls game ever. Like, I have no idea what my love-hate relationship with them is. Because every time I'm like, God damn it, here comes another fucking swamp. And then I get there and I'm like, all right, swamp, for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, so when that, I guess, the swamp in Elden Ring you're talking about, I guess, right now, right?
The swamp in every single Dark Souls game. I swear to God, Miyazaki is upping the ante. This last game in Elden Ring, he's like, you like poison swamps? Because we got 3 of them.
That's right. Carlos.
I love it. I do want to preface this by saying that I love this game, but the fast travel, not even the lack of fast travel mechanic and the in between loading worlds in God of War Ragnarok and the backtracking is fucking.
There's no loading. There's just tunnels.
There's all the when you want to go from Alfheim to Muspelheim or something like that, you have to go to the port thing. You have to go to the in between world. Hey, there's a little quick dialogue and go through the other world, and that just annoyed the hell out of me. I understand why it's there because the PS4 needs to exist. But
it needs to exist.
Which
that weak ass console needs to exist.
That freaking weak ass console that's going to be 10 years old this year. It was annoying, and also when you're doing the collectibles and you're trying to get the platinum, which I did, by the way. That
your boy,
getting stuff that's like far away from like a port or something, and having to backtrack everything when you're inside a dungeon or something like that. It just got annoying.
By the way, I got to use that as a springboard because we had Riku on last week, made that very controversial statement or revelation that he was slowing down with trophies this year, and the game that broke him was actually God of War Ragnarok. He was like, I don't want to do this shit, and it's funny because I had, because last year I had a pretty good streak when it came to PlayStation games. I didn't play a lot of games on PlayStation, but the games I played up until that point got into platinum in all of them, right? So I was like, I'm going to do this same shit for God of War, right? And I started doing that, and I got to a point where I'm like, I don't want to do this shit anymore. I'm good, you know? So I stopped. No platinum for me. The thing is, it was the you know the optional big heavy fights or whatever. Though I'm like, I don't want to do this shit. When they started throwing 2 of those motherfuckers at you at once, I'm like, I think I'm good. I don't want to deal with this shit, you know. And I got to that, you know, big Valkyrie bitch. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this anymore, you know. So I was
dude. I felt like the difficulty on God of War was all over the fucking place, man.
Yeah, it was all right.
It was.
Some of the bosses were pretty tough compared to like the relative.
But isn't that the way the old one was? There was.
I meant more in the balancing. Like some of these things, like you're having like a 15-minute fight where you're, I guess, not supposed to get hit maybe more than once. It's just a really weird. Some enemies you can just plow through. Other enemies just are gonna wreck you if they blink at you too hard. It's weird and seems almost arbitrary.
Yeah, I mean, if you're at least at their power level, it's okay. Because obviously, if you face like a guy who's like a orange or red bar, you're gonna get fucked up, you know. But if he has a green bar, you'll be all right, you know. But it doesn't do a very good job of communicating that, like, hey, don't go into that area, you're gonna get fucked up. It doesn't do that very well. All right, go ahead.
I can't believe I live in a world where I played a major PlayStation exclusive game that I platinum over Tony.
Yeah, man. Not only it happens, man. The first time, and you know, probably not the last. All right, moving on here. Best game that you played that was not released in 2022. Does the Cowabunga collection count? I mean, it doesn't, obviously.
Oh yeah,
Shredder.
Adam, you're probably the king of this because you play a ton of old games.
I play a lot.
So, what was your favorite game that you played last year that was an old game?
What do you mean? Like an old game, but I replayed it?
Okay, best game you played that was not released in 2022.
I have an answer.
Okay.
Well, I would say Ghostbusters Remastered. I went back to that. That's from the movie one. I replayed and finished that one, and I'm still trying to find one of the fountains. I don't know which one I'm missing.
Oh, I had that too. I that's part of the reason why I gave up on it. Oh, and also there were online trophies in the original one.
Holy shit! I actually have an answer for this. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, they took all the co-op stuff out and stuff. It's fun. It gets grindy at the end, but man, it's fun. I like Ghostbusters, so I went back to that and played it again.
Good stuff. All right, Manny, what you got?
I would say X Troopers or EX Troopers.
There you go.
It's a nice throwback because it is a throwback. A game that was literally made, possibly was a PS3 in the PS3 game or something like that. So yeah, to that or around the time the Lost Planet came out. Good stuff.
By the way, I was gonna say like I didn't play any old games. Yes, I fucking did.
Yo, man, you going back?
I had to because there was nothing coming out last year. I played Cyberpunk. So so that's my favorite. That's the best game I played, not released in 2022. It was good because it was nice playing the game actually stable. By the way, that was another one too, where I was like, let me get the platinum for this, but then I fucked up one thing. I'm like, I don't know if I would do this, but I'm still willing to replay to get that platinum because I really like that game. That is such a good game, you know. Like it's like I have to literally replay the whole game to get this one trophy, you know, because I fucked up. But I wouldn't mind with a different build. Obviously, that's the key. I'm not going to be replaying it like the same.
So this will be the second. This will be the third time different build.
Yeah.
If you do it again.
Yeah, because my first build was like a gun-toting person. Then the build I just did now was like a hacker. Like I was literally killing dudes without even like I would go into a room and just slow-mo everything and just hack their brains and everybody's heads would explode. I wouldn't touch anything.
Dude, that's such a fun playthrough.
It was awesome, Brett. It was great. I'm like, I just literally just walk into a room and just fucking blow up everybody's heads and just go about my business.
is one of two, like that and Elden Ring are the only two games that I can honestly think of that I'm like, I want to play this whole game again, but in a different way now.
Yeah, Brett, or sometimes I would hack one camera. You know, like one camera would be connected to the entire network. So I would just go bounce from camera to camera, finding where enemies are, just popping their heads, then go into a building, get whatever I need to get the fuck out. I did my first kind of playthrough doing like a light machine gunner. Second one going full hacker, and now I'm like, I want to go through and do like a time slow katana build now. Yeah, the next one I'm gonna do is a melee build for sure. Like I'm gonna have those fucking blades coming out my arms and shit like Baraka and just go nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna do the David Martinez time slow shit.
Yeah, I don't
from
know
the
who
new
that
game.
is.
Yeah, I had gorilla arms. My first playthrough, I was I hacked everybody's brains, and then I had gorilla arms on top of that, so I could just run in and punch somebody's jaw off. It was fun, but I want mantis blades.
There's because people have been trying to make essentially the builds of the characters from the game, from the Edge Runners cartoon.
It doesn't seem like it'd be hard.
Yeah, so like the one that's a little bit difficult is you can do his slow-mo ability, you know, the one that you literally slow down time for a really long time, but the only problem is that there's no punching build for the game.
Yeah, there's gorilla arms.
It's not. I forgot what it was. It was like it just know exactly what he had.
Yeah.
But
by the way,
do that.
Yeah, we were answering the question wrong. A game that you played for the first time in 2022 that didn't release in 2022. So, man, you're still good. So
I'm still good.
Me and Adam don't count. I didn't play anything. I did.
You did play Cyberpunk initially.
Yeah.
And we did.
No, because again, it's very. Again, things have to just be dry for me not to play an old game. Most of the time I just play new games. So nope. All right. So
I did. I got one.
What's up?
I did. One Finger Death Punch 2.
Oh yeah, that was your game. Yeah.
Yeah. I got hooked on that, and that game came out a few years back, and I knew nothing about it until somebody had it on their Steam Deck and said, "Yo, play this." I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then I got it, and I told Chris, and he went, "Oh shit!" And I told a few more people. It's an awesome game.
And then they went, "Oh shit!"
Then it went,
yeah.
Okay, so Carlos, now knowing this question, do you have anything for this?
There's I have a technicality.
You don't play games?
Final Fantasy. Well, that too. Final Fantasy 15. Because I went back to get the platinum on that game. Because I needed 2 trophies. It ended up being the 2 hardest trophies. One being
turtle.
A 3 to 4 hour boss battle with a fucking turtle, which was annoying as hell. So as much as I suffered, I got the platinum, and I guess that's the best non 2022 game I played on 2022.
Yeah, Brett, do you have a new game that you played, or a new game for you that you played last year that didn't come out last year?
That I played for the first time, not that I can think of.
Yeah. All right, so that's most of us then. All right, moving on here. Another one from Tumeke is the Rona to blame for the current state of gaming, with reliance on remakes and safe sequels, or is the industry just running out of ideas or playing it safe due to cost development? Yes. Yes to all of those.
Well,
definitely playing it safe beforehand.
They've always been playing it safe,
Yeah, they've always been playing it safe, but yeah, doing remakes is a fairly good way, or remakes or remasters is a fairly good way to make it seem like you have more than you actually do. It doesn't take nearly as long to do one of those things as it would be to make a full-on new game, because essentially most of your level design and a lot of the other stuff is all already done.
Oh shit, my bad. Thank you for telling me about that. There are actually more categories. I skipped them. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Game you spent the most hours playing. Elden Ring. That's easy. Because every other Elden Ring. I should probably look. Did I play more? No, I must have played more Elden Ring than Horizon for sure.
Guardians of the Galaxy for me.
Nice.
That's also a game that wasn't released this year that I played. I spent the most time because it took the most time for me to do that because of a glitched item thing that happened in there. So I had to literally do a full-on workaround in order to get the platinum on it.
Yeah. All right. So Adam, what's the game and this is a 2022 game. What was the game you spent the most time on last year? 2022 game.
2000. What did it just came up on my report? That shit. That oh my.
Your Steam report?
Wasn't it? It wasn't a
Was
WWE.
it Turtles?
Yeah, it was a WWE game.
Okay, there you go.
It was that one that came up as like the most played. It was like almost 200 hours.
Yeah.
On that one. So yeah, I love my rest.
And Brett, Carlos, I'm assuming Elden Ring for you guys too, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm still playing it. I'm playing it right now.
My man. And the last one here, most disappointing game. You already know, man. Callisto Protocol all day. You know, with an honorable mention to Saints Row, because that was pretty bad too. So that's my answer. And Adam, was the Callisto Protocol for you too, isn't it?
Callisto, man, because I was so hyped for that one.
Yeah,
like
man.
I said, I purposely did not want to review it because I wanted to enjoy it, put my time into it. I bought that game. I always remember that night it unlocked for me. I jumped off the
Throwdown, man. You're like, fuck these guys, man. I'm playing me some Callisto, baby.
I started for the first half. I was hyped. Remember, I was sending little video clips. I'm like, yay! And then like the next day, I'm like, hey. And then after that, I'm like,
that mood changed real quick.
I was telling people like, yo, you like it now? I'm like, no, save your money. You know, it was.
Damn, man. All right, Carlos, most disappointing game.
Man, I mean, I only played games I liked. I guess the most disappointing is Turtles, and that's only because I got glitched out of the game once when we were playing. Remember when we were doing co-op together?
I remember that.
But that's about it. But I like the game.
You played that again and beat it.
Yeah,
it's a good game, but it was tough to choose.
Yeah, Brett, most disappointing game of 2022 for you.
Dying Light. I was really excited, but then I got locked in. Got locked in that glitch for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. And Manny, do you have any disappointing games that came out, like new games?
Disappointing new games? No, I mean I've had a pretty good track record this year, because I haven't played most of the big games. So, yeah, that's a bad. No disappointments.
Yeah.
No disappointments because I didn't participate.
There you go. You can't be disappointed if you don't play.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. So anyway, so his question was of the Rona. It's all that shit. The Rona. Playing it safe.
Yeah, it's a lot of things because you guys got to realize it takes a long time to develop a game.
Got a question about that.
A game from scratch, like 5 years 5 to 4 years seem to be the golden number, at least for current generation games. Sometimes games are even longer, especially if they're developing an engine or something like that, a tandem with it. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff. So all those remakes that you're seeing, that's all like the generation started with a remake, which is a very well done remake. Like they did what they did with that game, but in its core, there's not a lot that needs. They don't need to do all the other side of game, too much of the other side of game development on there, and they probably finished that game relatively quickly. So, and it's running the original engine underneath it. I'm talking about Demon Souls. Well, that's not even for this year, but in general, yeah.
Oh, no, never mind. I was gonna say I have another answer for a previous question, but no.
All right.
Is it Demon Souls that was a disappointment?
Well, Adam, I'll bring up Adam in this. It answers two questions. It's a game a disappointing game in 2020, but it's also a game that we played, a game that's not from 2022, and that's Halo Infinite. It was mega disappointing, and then I guess the reason why it counts is because the online co-op just released last year.
Yeah, a whole year later, pretty much. It was only like a few weeks.
Yeah.
What a letdown.
But yeah, as far as the the most recent question, yeah, I agree. It's a combination of all those things. Games either. I think is it Brett or Manny, the one that brings up this point all the time? It's like games are just either big blockbusters or indie games. There's really no in between. And when you have and when you have all this money, put into one single game, then you're sure as hell know that they're going to try to do their best to be safe.
Yeah, for sure. All right, good stuff. All right, who is this? E-Man? Who is this character?
I'm a superhero.
asking a question over here. All right. The question is, what do you think about John Carmack leaving Oculus VR after 10 years and his comments about Meta and VR in his resignation memo for no reason whatsoever? Manny, do you want to answer this question?
Yes. I mean, this was a pretty interesting thing where it was like during our during all of the time off and stuff. And one of the things that happened literally before with this is that Carmack literally just walked away from Oculus. Now, he had been there just for 10 years. In fact, it was a surprise that he was even going to Oculus or Facebook at the time because he was all down with the VR. So it's the thing about it is it's like he's kind of a big deal because he did create Doom and stuff, and he's pretty smart guy as far as that, and he saw the potential of it. But the comments on his his memo when he's leaving, that was some pretty damning stuff that's in there. If you want to toss that on there, I don't have it up, Tony.
Oh, I could read him if you want me to.
I know he said this one thing about the go.
Right. Oh, this is a report though. Where's the actual link?
Yeah, where's his memo? I thought the E-Man, what's wrong with you? He
didn't link the correct
link no memo. Anyway, but in the memo, he sort of said that Brett, you know what he said directly in the memo, right?
Hold on, I got it.
Okay.
I'm not reading all this shit. It's a lot. Actually, that's not too much. We'll skip around. I resigned my position as an executive consultant for VR with Meta. My internal post to the company got leaked to the press. Oh shit. But that just results in them picking a few choice bits out of it. Here's the full post, just as the internal employees saw it. This is the end of my decade in VR. I have mixed feelings. Quest 2 is almost exactly what I wanted to see from the beginning. Mobile hardware, inside-out tracking, optional PC streaming, 4K-ish screen, cost-effective. Despite all the complaints I have about our software, millions of people are still getting value out of it. We have a good product. It is successful, and successful products make the world a better place. It all could have been a bit faster and could have been going better if different decisions had been made, but we built something pretty close to the right thing. The issue is our efficiency. This is something I've heard a lot about Meta. Some will ask why I care how the progress is happening as long as it is happening. If I'm trying to sway others, I would say that an organization that has only known inefficiency is ill-prepared for the inevitable competition and or belt tightening, but really it is more personal pain of seeing 5% GPU utilization number in production. I am offended by it. Damn, 5% what? Wow. Okay. Edit. I was being overly poetic here, as several people have missed my intention. As systems optimization person, I care deeply about efficiency. When you work hard at optimization for most of your life, seeing something that is grossly inefficient hurts your soul. I was likening observing our organization's performance to seeing a tragically low number on a profiling tool. We have a ridiculous amount of people and resources, but we constantly self-sabotage and squander effort. There is no way to sugarcoat this. I think our organization is operating at half the effectiveness that would make me happy. Some may scoff and contend we are doing just fine, but others will laugh and say, we're at a quarter efficiency. Damn, this is not looking good. Okay, almost done here. And it's been a struggle for me. I have a voice at the highest levels here, so it feels like I should be able to move things, but I'm evidently not persuasive enough. A good fraction of the things I complain about eventually turn my way after a year or two passes and evidence piles up, but I have never been able to kill stupid things before they cause damage or set a direction and have a team actually stick to it. I think my influence at the margins has been positive, but has never been a prime mover. This was admittedly self-inflicted. I could have moved to Menlo Park after the Oculus acquisition and tried to wage battles with generations of leadership, but I was busy programming and I assumed I would hate it, be bad at it, and probably lose anyway. Here's the last paragraph. Enough complaining. I'm wearied of the fight and have my own startup to run, but the fight is still winnable. VR can bring the most value to people in the world, and no company is better positioned to do it than Meta. Maybe it is actually possible to get there by just plowing ahead with current practices, but there is plenty of room for improvement. Make better choices and fill your products with give a damn. Whoa.
Snap.
Wow.
Yeah, so there you go. From the man himself, essentially saying this shit ain't being running right.
Inefficiency, man. You know.
Yep. And
I gotta
that
say
guy-
this though. I gotta say this. Remember,
Okay.
people were like so upset when Elon fired 75% of fucking Twitter. They're like, oh, it's gonna fall apart. It's still running because heavy operators weren't doing shit. You know, they were just being lazy, basically, not doing nothing.
I think what it was is there was redundancy.
That's generalizing.
Yeah.
Place
Oh, it is generalizing, but you know that's what happened. But
We have no clue what the hell they did.
yeah. But my point is, there's a lot of inefficiency in a lot of sectors. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what happens, especially with big companies like that, you have a bunch of redundant positions, and the simple things become difficult to do, and that is a problem with not only some place like a Meta, but also a lot of bigger studios, where there's so much bureaucracy and so many redundancies in the way, it gets in the way of making good quality products. So. Yeah. In other words, essentially, Carmack is like, "Yo, man, make this shit run like Doom. Make it run on anything. You know, it's got to work."
Yeah. So, Brett, what are your thoughts?
I have many. One is to say, yeah, rats leave a sinking ship. It's what happens.
Yeah.
I think the big tell here is you can hear how frustrated he is. And I think this is an issue of not necessarily just things being run wildly inefficient, but things being run wildly inefficiently despite his constant protests. You know, it's clear that as a consultant, he's not being fully utilized, and I think that's frustrating him. I think anybody who's been in a job where their agency has been kind of cut off, and that especially when you're still getting performance reviews or still kind of watching how much it is. You know, how many of you have been in a position where you get told your boss something, they didn't listen to you, and then things got fucked up because of it? It's kind of a shitty feeling, and if you're not going to be utilized or listened to, especially after accruing a lifetime of experience, I'd do exactly what he does and say, fuck you. That aside, I think you can hear his allusions to his disappointment. Like, he definitely straight up says he's disappointed, but when he says things like, "We made close to the thing that we should have made," it's got to be incredibly frustrating having your ideals and your dreams kind of undercut by modern business and all the shortcuts that people want to take and all the bloatware they want to put on it. He's clearly just not happy about their product, their services, their company ethos, any of it. So it's not a good fit. But I don't think that it's shocking to anybody that Meta does not produce a good product. And I would guess too, some in there. I'm hearing kind of allusions to it, but I doubt he'd even be able to say so if he wanted to. But a lot of the practices of the company, a lot of their, I'm not sure people who out there know, but like it is constantly reporting back metrics to Facebook from your device. It is a thing that happens. It's been acknowledged. It's known. A lot of people don't really care about it, but Facebook is Meta is a horrifying organization. Even if you don't have Facebook, Facebook has a shadow account for you. So it can keep track of your metrics and still sell that data that it harvests through people that you know to the highest bidder. I feel like the company bottom to top is just rotten. So I don't blame him for trying to get out. I'm surprised you didn't do it sooner.
I mean, let's not act like this company hasn't been like this for over a decade now. So whatever John Carmack's fucking thing he's trying to say, he knew what type of he knew what type of beast he was getting into.
That's true.
Cry me a fucking river. Trying to save the world with VR. I'm just sick of like hearing someone's perspective and then somehow everyone thinks that this was the only way that was possible and you didn't know what the hell you were getting into. He sure as hell knew what he was getting into. He's just leaving and he's trying to make himself seem like I'm too good for this shit because they didn't listen to me. So fuck them.
Wait. I just want to say something. Carlos just got possessed by the spirit of Chris right there.
It's
Don't trust anything Kimoshima says.
You know,
I'm actually not real familiar on the timeline of I thought he got involved before Meta did.
He was
there for the Rift, whatever.
Yeah, he was there for the Rift when it was still the Rift. In fact, it's this year probably around 20 around. I've heard, like around now is when he joined the company. In fact, and he had a presentation at E3 on the Microsoft stage too, also talking about VR. But he did join the company around this time. So
yeah, but they were, wasn't it before even Facebook bought them?
No,
yeah, it was.
Was it before Facebook?
Because I know he's been there for a decade now.
He's been there for 10 years. So, I think they did buy them in the last 10 years, right? They did.
Yeah.
I thought they bought them 10 years ago, but maybe they didn't.
I thought he joined and then, what was the guy's name? Lucky Palmer or something like that?
Palmer Lucky?
Lucky Charm.
Yeah, I thought he joined and then Palmer Lucky sold it to Meta. I'm not sure.
Yeah, wasn't there a scandal with Palmer over some political things? And that's
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, there was, and I think that's
to the message. So yeah.
So, I'm just saying I don't know how much the whole he knew what he was getting into. I'm not sure how much say he had over that.
Well, he could have.
Oh, good. Go ahead.
Carlos. It was his choice because I think he was CTO of the company, and then he stepped down to just a supervising or a consultant role because he wanted to do something else.
He wanted to get into the programming side of it, which I don't blame him. That's what he's always been good at.
Okay, so Facebook, as they were known back then, they bought Oculus in 2014. So he joined in 2012 then. So he was there before the buyout then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And as I remember, before during the buyout, they said that they were not going to. Facebook was not going to affect anything.
They always say that shit.
Yeah, all those companies. Remember when when Activision said that about Blizzard?
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude.
Right,
remember when Microsoft said that about Activision Blizzard? Oh,
why?
All right, let's move on, man. We still got more questions. All right, Mob Hits. He goes, "Happy New Year's, fellas. Hope you guys had a relaxing time off. Here's to a great year up ahead. Thank you, sir."
Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, I got you, brother.
All right. First question. Jason Schreier recently said that any new AAA game starting development now is likely to be on next-gen hardware like PS6. If that's the case, was this generation a waste of time for everyone involved, consumers and companies? He's not wrong. Manny just said it earlier. It takes about 5 years to make a big AAA game. If you start making it now, to take 5 years, that's PS6 territory.
Well, that's game development, but I strongly doubt his premise that PS6 games, because if we're talking about PS5 games, when are they going to start coming out, and not those cross-gen games? And if they come out in 2023, does it mean that they started development 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
No, he says if they start a game development now at this moment, we are starting the game development now. Yeah. That's what he's saying. Understand?
Well, I have a question. Is he talking about the PS6 game on PlayStation 6 or the PS5 games on PlayStation 6?
Yeah, I think he missed that part because, any game that started right now will be coming out on both.
Exactly.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, exactly. I guess the question that kind of stuck to me, or at least the thing I pulled out of this is I know it's early to tell, but do you think this generation of gaming will be a quote-unquote lost generation because of all these factors that we've had to deal with?
I see this as one of the longest ones, like we had with the 360 and the PS3. I think that
wasn't one of the longest ones. So it was just as long as last generation. They were both 7 years.
It feels like it was longer.
No, they were both 7 years. They were both 7 years, man. Because it was the longest. Don't get me wrong, Adam. It was the longest until last generation lasted another 7 years. Technically, you could say last generation hasn't ended yet.
Yes, because as Carlos said, this year wasn't it this year that the PlayStation. The PlayStation 4 will be a 10-year-old console.
Yeah. So Yeah, you could technically say last generation is still going on. But yeah, because I've thought about it, like this generation might be a lost generation. Listen, I understand we've talked about this, that some developers have used the whole Rona shit as an excuse to delay shit. That's true, but the Rona still affected shit nonetheless. But like Adam said, the recession happened too. But also, we're about to go into one if we're not in one already. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen this generation, man. Like weak start. There are some individual games we're hyped for, but I think at the end of the day, this might be the worst generation. I think when all is said and done, because last generation was also probably. I'm just speaking for myself right now. I think last generation probably the worst gaming generation. That came to completion, right? This one may beat it, man, as the worst.
Dude, this is why my opinion on gaming has kind of changed this generation, and it's the reason I'm all that much more in on games as a service, right? Like, it's all about, in my opinion, kind of the perspective that you have. So, if you're telling me that I've already got a bunch of games coming to me on a free or not on a free service, on a service that I'm paying for, so essentially the games are bought and paid for, then it becomes like, okay, well, I can upgrade my hardware and play them at a higher fidelity. The generations seem to make less difference at that point. Yeah, sure, I'd like to have games to have higher fidelity, but when I'm paying for them monthly, it doesn't seem like as big of a deal. Well, so it just seems like a very binary choice at that point. Like, okay, I'm going to be playing the exact same games. I can just upgrade the fidelity or not, and I'm not going to have to pay any difference for the games. I'm not going to play any different games. It seems like if you're going to fold it all into one, may as well make it convenient. Does that make any sense?
Then forget it.
Yeah.
That's very disappointing, though, man.
Yeah.
It's basically accepting defeat. I fully admit that.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me. But yeah, no, you're right.
We're amateur historians of the video game industry in a sense. I do have a question for you guys.
That's a nice way of saying old.
Well, I didn't want to be mean. Yeah.
Oh, you motherfuckers are old.
Y'all
those motherfuckers are old.
We're all old. The whole thing with Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok, and I guess you can bring in Horizons or Forbidden West into the conversation. These are all games that came out last year, 2022, 9 years into the console, the PS4 and Xbox One. At the end of the day, when let's say 10 years or 20 years from now, when we think about those games, should we consider them as PS4 games or as PS5 games?
I will.
Because I feel like the cross-gen thing is just not going to stick.
No, listen, I've called those games PS4 games from the jump, and that will not change in 10 years. Those are PS4 games, So we're still waiting for the current gen bangers. Let
me ask you, Tony, what's different? Like, if you have two versions of the game, one that has higher graphics, is it still just a PS4 game shined up?
Yeah.
And if so, like, what defines a PS? Because PS5 games, a lot of them that even are designed for PS5, they're basically just shined up PS4 games. Like, what's the difference? They're running on the same architecture.
The difference is that one plays on PS4. If you have a game that cannot play on PS4, then it is not a PS4 game.
Okay, and I know you don't like hypotheticals, but let me ask you then. So if they had a game, right, that could play on the PS4, but they just didn't release a PS4 version, would that be a next-gen game?
How would we know that?
We wouldn't.
Actually, there was
Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights.
Yeah. So Brett, no hypothetical that did happen.
Okay,
Brett,
he asked me the question. So to answer the question, yes, it is still a last gen game.
Okay, so what makes it a current gen game? When it can't run on a current system?
When it absolutely cannot even run on a last gen system. Like it just can't function at all.
Okay.
Like think Shadow of
Mordor. Yeah. Like remember they had to remove the Nemesis system from that fucking game to make it work. On last gen.
True.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my definition of it. Carlos, what's your question of Brett?
It was more of an answer to Brett's question. It's a tricky question. I understand why Tony sees it the way he does. But I would answer that.
You know,
you shout out to the pod dog.
You know, pod pup.
I would the pod pup. I would consider it a PS5 game just because there is that ambiguity where we don't know. Maybe if it's like an indie game that for some reason it's a PS5 exclusive game, it's like, okay, Abandoned can play on a fucking Switch, or probably can run on anything if it's Abandoned. But you know what I'm saying.
You know.
But if it's like a AAA game, like Returnal is technically a PS5 game, and it'll always be a PS5 game. Can it run on a PS4? I don't know.
I don't think so, man. That's a lot of shit going on screen in that game, you know?
Yeah, so Returnal, that's why Returnal is definitively a PS5 game, and Ratchet and Clank is definitively a PS5 game. Yeah. Everything else pretty much, except I don't know if there's some exceptions, but every other big game is a PS4 game at this point.
The game that came with the PS5, that free one, what was that?
Astros?
Oh, no.
Astros. You know what's funny about Astros? That game is actually pretty next gen too, if you think about it. Like just because of the Rumble, yeah, it actually is next gen. But this conversation just makes me think about the conversation we had with Torrance. With Riku too, where Riku was saying that he hasn't really lost his passion for games, but other things have taken it over. And I said that gaming has lost a passion for me, and I meant that they're not making games I really care for as much. They still make them. They still make God of War and shit, but not in abundance like they used to. But I don't know, man. Maybe I am losing my passion for gaming. I don't know, man.
I've been saying this for years.
But again, is that because of me or is it because of the fucking whack ass games? And it's again, I sound like a broken record at this point. What a fucking whack generation. I think you're right, bro. I think it's both, man.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. And this is the thing I found. I've lost passion for some video games, but I've gotten more passion for different kinds of video games. My palette has expanded granted, that's because there are several kinds. Some of my favorite genres, that started off as DayZ, Dark Souls, they were games that didn't have genres 10 years ago, man. So the games that, in my opinion, keep it fresh are the games that I haven't played. Let's be real. I've probably played a lifetime supply of first-person shooters, man. I've played that shit from inception up until now. I don't honestly know that a first-person shooter without something incredibly dynamic added to it is ever going to seem new and fresh to me. I think there's just a threshold you hit, homie. We've played enough of those same games for a lifetime. You got to give us something new now. We're starting to get bored of that same old stuff. How many times can you eat a hot dog in life and still be excited by it?
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's both ways. A lot of it, it's with a lot of mediums. There's a foundation that is set when it comes to shaping the way that you've enjoyed and played video games, and through time that foundation usually kind of deviates to some other direction, and kind of leaves you behind. But also, there's the aspect where something like the video game medium makes so much money that it becomes industrialized, and it kind of goes from being mostly just art to people who hire artists.
I think you're right, man. It's just the games aren't, because again, I know full for a fact you give me a game that actually hits me right, that passion is right back.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, ironically enough, had it briefly rekindled last year when I replayed Cyberpunk. Man, why don't you when it's actually working? Obviously, I'm like, why don't we get more games like this? This is fucking awesome, But it's just again, and I love me some Ragnarok, right? That was my game of the year, but still more of the same. The only reason I that's my game is because the story and characters are so fucking good. Elden Ring is incredible. I still think about that game. Great stuff, right? But those experiences are very few and far between now. And I know some people are going, oh, Tony, what about indie games? Bro, I've played indie games for 12 fucking years. Those games do not do it for me, man. And I gave it another real earnest try in 2021 when I didn't have to review these games anymore, right? I played Hades. I played Beyond Death's Door. I played The Ascent, a couple other games. All these games are trash, man. I'm like,
And the witness is trash.
Yeah, and I'm like, why am I? It's like going, hey, I want a burger. Hey, here's a fucking potato chip. I like potato chips. Don't get me wrong, but they're not gonna hit me like a burger. But the thing is, the burgers are whack now. They're dry and shit.
No, man. Now they're serving. Now they're serving you McDonald's and Burger King's burgers.
No, man. We gotta go. They're giving you that school burger, man.
Yo, man, they give you that
dry. I like me some McDonald's
burger.
Yeah, they're giving you school burgers. I'll still eat them. I still
like Elio's pizza.
But it's like,
pizza for life.
What are we doing here?
School pizza.
I don't know.
Not to mention that they're not dipping their fries into that that grease from the fat of what are they?
Yeah, they're not cooking it. They're not cooking it in the burger grease.
In the burger grease. Yeah, I will mention one thing, Tony. In particular, the two subjects that you brought in, Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok. Yeah, I believe if those games came out in 2013, you would think about them differently.
We answered that question before, and to make it in our response, me and Manny, we went in, boy, because those games couldn't have existed in 2013 because we need the previous ones, But the thing is, that if they had but the other thing is, let's just be real though, and I'm going to answer the question like the way you wanted me to answer it, to make it. I would have been blown the fuck away by those games in 2013. I was 10 years younger. Things were still fresher.
We're just starting the generation.
Yeah, could you imagine? And that's a hypothetical as fuck. God of War Ragnarok came out 10 years ago as it is now. You'd be like, what the fuck? It'd be the greatest game ever instantly.
It might be top 10 of games of all time if it came out.
But
I disagree, man.
Yeah, I know you do, but I'm just saying, like, if the game.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, look at the criticism at like the last Fallout, right? Every time we get new iterations of these games, they tend to get more shallow, right? Like, and this has happened with almost all of Bethesda's games, right? Like, the Elder Scrolls used to be a lot more expansive. Fallout lost a lot of its dialogue options. Like, I kind of feel like if I would have come straight from playing Morrowind to this, I would have been like, what the fuck, man? I thought this was an RPG. How come I get 4 options to do the same fucking thing?
Yeah, I think for that game, you're right. I'm just talking about Ragnarok specifically, but I see what you're saying, and I don't disagree because games have gotten dumbed down, But I'm mainly speaking about the graphics. You're like, what the fuck? Look at that shit.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was.
Super shiny now, but.
Yeah, but
that's where I was leaning towards with my question because, for example, I think me and Tony might be the most graphics.
Graphics still excite me. They still fucking excite me, man. So I'll give. And that's the thing. And Carlos, sorry to cut you off here. This is the other problem I'm having, and this is a self-inflicted wound because I keep wanting more and more and more and more and more graphics, but we're getting diminishing returns on that end too, just because of power or whatever, But graphics are a very big component for me. And I'll be real. This is why, partly why I can't enjoy indie games like I probably could, because I'm like, yeah, this is nice, but look at these fucking graphics, man. Like when you play something like Senua Sacrifice, like, oh shit, that's crazy looking, because my expectations have been set so high, and I just need them to go higher and higher. But that's kind of impossible. You're not going to get too much shit. Think about it. The thing I'm still most excited about for this generation is seeing that Unreal Engine demo. I'm like, what the fuck, But
with Senua Sacrifice, that was them leveraging what they had, over and what they could do.
Yeah, because it's a very constrained game.
It's a very constrained game. Yeah. They don't. It's a very sort of old game almost, but like it's doing those things, but it's not. You don't see that the set only has one side. Yeah, like you would most indie games you would.
Yeah,
think.
But Carlos, you were saying, me and you are, we're definitely the most graphically inclined guys on here for sure.
So and the point that I wanted to get into was if Elden Ring might be a top 10 game for me all time. God of War is actually probably top 20 or ish, somewhere around there. But if they released only on PlayStation 5 and both of them only on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, and sort of looked slightly better, like significantly better than the PS4 kind of versions that they, in their core, they are.
Yeah.
I feel like it wouldn't have been a question that Elden Ring's a top 10 game of all time for me, and God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If those games really utilize the power of PS5 and shit, like imagine playing God of War Ragnarok with no fucking loading screens, man.
Dude, imagine the art direction of Elden Ring with the graphics that Bluepoint brought to Demon Souls.
Yeah, oh my god. And that's the thing about Elden Ring. I gotta say this about Elden Ring, man. Like, graphically, it wasn't impressive, but that art design was so fucking striking, man. You see a screenshot from Elden Ring, you know it's Elden Ring. That's good fucking art design, you know?
It kind of makes me think that, like, I think that we've been pursuing graphics for so long that we might have started to lose focus on art direction, because yeah, Elden Ring does a lot with a little.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, can we have both? Can we have dope art direction and awesome graphics? Current gen graphics, what we want to call it.
And that's due to for people who focus on stylizing their games as opposed to people that just want to make it look as real as possible.
Yeah. All right, good stuff, man. Let's move on.
There's someone asked a question. Citizen added a question.
Who is that?
Yo, man, I heard he's friends with Killer Pigeon and E-Man. He says, have you ever replayed a game that you don't remember anything from your first playthrough?
No, I always remember games.
It depends. It actually depends if I stop a game abruptly and how long I've stopped the game.
I'm assuming it's a completed game, right?
Yeah, if you completed a game and then years later you say, all right, I'll go back, and you don't remember.
You know what it is? I've never done that. Like, I mean, I have, I guess. No, you're right. What am I talking about? Like, when I replayed like Contra or whatever.
Contra, Final Fight. You've done those. You remember, and those are years old. You know?
Yeah. I still remember those. Yeah, I'm like, shit, I remember this. Like, it's funny about that. Citizen, if you're watching the show, like when I play those older games, I'm instantly taken back to that time. So no, that's never happened to me. Like, I was like, it's like instant memory. Like, oh shit! Like, I may forget how to fight bosses or whatever. I may forget where to go in a stage. That may happen, but no, it's not. It's not like, how like sometimes when you watch a movie when you're a kid, you rewatch it, you're a judge. Like, fuck. Like, you're like, yo, this is way different. Or you reread a book, you're like, whoa, I missed a bunch of shit there, didn't I? But with a game, I don't really forget them, but like. The feeling, you know what it is? It's not like the memory is exactly the same. The feeling is the same. Like, I remember this. I remember that. I felt that way. Man, remember when games used to make you feel that way, man?
Oh yeah, that's why I get these damn cabinets, because I want to play Super Street Fighter Turbo and all those things.
Like, man, there was a time, man, games just hit me right here. Like, man. They don't do it, man. It's funny. We were talking Torrance about like old man shit, right? Like, not to derail the conversation, my biggest old man thing, it's like, how do I say this? Things don't, okay, this is a metaphoric, man. Things don't taste as good anymore. Everything's just blah for the most part, right? That's why when things come out like Dune, I'm like, oh shit, I remember this feeling. Like something new and fresh, and I'm discovering something, right? But most of the time when I'm seeing something, even if it's good, I'm like, yeah, that's all right. You know what I'm saying? That's the worst aspect of getting old. The cynicism. You can't help it. It just happens.
I think a lot of times, like there's that moment, and I feel like the best way I could sort of think of it is like when you have that. Like a creator or a comic book artist that just takes over a comic, right? And you can see them getting better and better and better and better and better and better and better as their tenure goes on, as they've been on that title. Alternatively, you're getting a lot of people that are like nowadays that are as good as they'll ever be, and it'll only be at that same level. It never reaches higher. It never reaches lower, and that's That's a lot of the content these days.
I'm throwing a name out there. This is one of my favorite artists of all time, right? Jim Lee. I love me some motherfucking Jim Lee, but look at his stuff now in X-Men from 30 years ago. It looks exactly the same. The colors may look different. That's about it. You know.
Yeah, Jim Lee in general has reached this precipice. Like, if anything, it's just sort of stayed at whatever level it has. It's not going to get any better because it doesn't need to get any better because he's already reached that level. He was still hungry at that point, so he wanted to push himself as hard as possible. Now he's already reached that, so he's not going to get any better. And I feel like that's also the same thing with a lot of music. When a rapper or a band reaches that level where they don't need to struggle anymore, they just put out the same level stuff as whatever they did.
When you're not hungry anymore, you know.
Eminem doesn't need to talk shit to his mom anymore. You know, he's already made it.
Yeah, he's good. You know, and that's why, lately, that's why I've been very happy with like reading novels because I've never been really much of a novel reader, but I've also kind of slowed down. I'm like, wait. The same feeling is going to happen if I read enough novels. I'll be like, I've read this shit already. This is just like this story.
But the thing is that the space is a lot wider, and there's a lot of different voices. I would say be wary of modern writers.
I'm going to just throw this on in general. Yeah, beware of modern. Yeah, no, modern writers is good. Modern stuff in general has just been bad for me. Modern
creations are a weird sort of thing where they don't know how to essentially, like, it's almost like they're good enough with winning, but they don't want to push it even further.
Yeah, they don't want to be excellent. They want to be good. They don't want to be excellent. And I think you're 100% right about that. And we've also, we talked about it with games, like games want to play it safe, but you see that everywhere. Hollywood wants to play it safe. It's funny. I saw this one video, and the big complaint was like, Hollywood you're either getting big, super, ultra blockbusters or indie movies, and the shit in the middle is gone. I'm like, doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah,
video games.
It's because for the big things, and then obviously just like that same industry, it's like the big things are always playing it safe. You know, you put a superhero in a movie. There you go. That's playing it safe now. That's and then on the low guys are like, man, I don't want to deal with all this superhero shit. Let's try to mix it up. Let's do some hard. Let's do some of this other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just in the middle, and you see the same thing. A lot of the innovation happens in the indie space, and then there's some of those guys that manage to pull up out of the indie spaces. Like the Christopher Nolans, like the guy who did like a lot of the other directors who sort of came up through the ranks.
Like Guillermo
del Toro.
Yeah, man.
I'll say one thing about
Denis
Villeneuve. Yeah, a lot of those guys. The guy who did the guy who did The Revenant. He also did Gravity.
Iñárritu.
Yeah.
Oh, Gravity was good. I still got to see Revenant. That's the one with the bear, right?
That's The
Revenant.
That's the Revenant. Gravity is the one with the bear.
No, wait. The Revenant's the one with the bear.
Revenant's the bear one, and then Gravity.
I saw Gravity, but I'm just asking. Revenant's the one with the bear, right?
Yep, that's the one with the bear.
Yeah, I want to see that one.
That awesome bear attack.
Yeah, I want to see that.
And they're two different directors. Both Mexican, by the way. Shout out.
And they're both Guillermo del Toro's. They're also Guillermo del Toro's buddies.
Yep.
All right, man. Let's move on. Next question. Also,
but I didn't get to say it. I get the question, the reason for the question.
Oh, go ahead.
So a buddy of mine. So we were going. He's also, we play all the Gears games.
Danny?
We were looking at. Started looking at the Chivo comparisons and stuff, and he says, "Yo, you're missing something from Gears Judgment, right? And now it's the spinoff." And I was like, "What am I missing?" He said, "You're missing the co-op. It says you haven't beaten a game in co-op. We beat this game in co-op." And he had the Chivo, and he said, "Yeah, I remember we played this, many years ago." I was like, "Oh, all right. So let's jump in and just see what we missed." We didn't remember a single fucking mission that we decided to start from the beginning and play it all. We finished it, and we didn't remember any of it. It's not like, "Oh yeah, I remember this part. Oh, we had to go with it." No, the story, everything. We were like, "Yo, we just played the whole new Gears game." Because we didn't remember any of it, but the Chivo said that we beat it back in like 2012 or whenever shit came out.
That's cool.
I'm going to tell you this Gears Judgment is possibly that game is probably the lowest in the bar of Gears games.
Probably, but
come on, isn't that the first one that didn't have the original people that made that game?
I don't know who made it. I don't think
so.
I don't know.
If it came out,
it came out. Yeah, it was a while ago. It definitely had some different
right?
mechanics. Still had some of the other ones. Maybe it was old.
It had a God of War Ascension feel to it. It was kind of like in the same category.
And but it was just so crazy because we were both, and he's like, "Well, we're just getting old." I don't think I've ever had that.
I think that game didn't make enough of an impact on you for you to remember it.
I guess, but it's well, at least same for him because I was like, "Do you remember any?" It's like, no. I don't know the story. None of this makes.
Did he say no, sucker?
Right, no, right. Yeah, that's what he said. No, sucker. No, yeah, we did not remember, and we played it through it. And he's like, "Well, we just played a new old Gears game." That was it, and then the Chivo pops. So
just play it. Play it in another 10 years. It'll be a totally new game.
That's scary.
That. I mean, for me, that's the case for more than half of the games that I've ever beaten, because a lot of the games that I played when I was like 8, 9, 10, 11, and those were like Metal Gear Solid, the games that came out during that time. So like even a game like Metal Gear Solid 4 that I beat, I have no clue what the fuck happened. I remember the whistling scene. I remember the one where they're inside the circle room where you had the Kojima glitch thing.
You remember playing it at least.
The snow scene,
playing it.
You know,
but
I realized I think
abduction.
I should go back to like current games in 10 years. I think those I may be like, oh, I don't remember this. Because those games I played when I was a kid, I replayed the fuck out of them because they were so hard. You had to constantly keep playing them. Yeah. Right? Like these games nowadays, I play a game once and I'm done with it, never play it again, right? So I think I could probably play, like, for example, BioShock, be like, oh, I don't remember this. I played it. Like the game left no impression on me. I played it and that was it. Even BioShock Infinite, I love BioShock Infinite. I don't really remember that. So you're Adam, or Citizen, excuse me. I'm gonna try that. Play a game I played from 10 years ago.
See what happens. And see if you remember. All right, so real quick, Manny, it was People Can Fly with Epic Games. People Can Fly is that Polish group that did Bulletstorm. Which also felt like Gears. That also felt like Gears, but in first person. Remember, they even looked all bulky and stuff, and it had that Gears. So it's those people that did it.
People Can Fly. All right, let's move on. We still got more questions. Another one from my bits. Will you guys, or are any of you guys attending any shows or conventions this year? If so, which ones are you looking forward to the most?
Shows or conventions?
E3.
There's a possibility E3 may happen.
Oh shit!
There's a possibility E3 may happen. I got my ways of getting in. You know that. So I work in the industry. I work in the industry. So anyway, there's a possibility that E3 may happen. I don't know anything about the Summer Games Fest thing. That's supposed to be happening, but we'll see how that goes. I'm definitely going to do New York Comic Con. But I will not be doing C2E2 this year.
Comic Con's probably gonna be the only one I get. I may have somebody get me in there. You know what I'm saying? Even I could just get a press badge. So one of my colleagues told me, Tony, just sign up for a press badge, man. Fuck that.
I mean, you'd be able to hang out in the lousy press lounge that they have now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, you still technically still doing game stuff. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I don't really have any plans. Anybody else?
For E3, probably. E3? I'm still thinking about it because Rich is going to go and he's also going to PAX.
Oh, yes.
So
he's also going to what?
Going to PAX.
PAX.
Oh, PAX.
Oh, nice.
PAX is PAX is like
Boston,
PAX is that still in like March?
Probably.
Or they moved it?
Yeah, because I know it's either March or April. That's when it usually happens. March or April.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, move on, man. Black Metal Gamer. Right. Should there be a spiritual successor to MAG on PS5? Sure, why not?
Everything.
Brian will be happy.
I think they forgot that they had a game that was like a massive multiplayer, online versus game like that. I I think nowadays it would probably be more appreciated that they had 100 players all at once, right?
Well, it's funny because how many players did it had? More than that, didn't it?
It was a lot of players.
Like 50 versus 50 or something. I remember some crazy.
If Brian was here, he'd let us know. But yeah,
it was like 100 players. It was like 100 players at once. So, like, imagine if they could get that to work on this current generation. But I feel like, since the regime had changed at Sony, they don't remember any of that shit. Most of them are just like, whatever. Hire Bungie to make one of those things for us.
How many players was it? I think it was more.
It was like over 100.
256.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
By the way, PAX East is March 23rd to 26th.
Oh, yeah, I know. Okay. It's like early. What they consider early spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Which something, I don't know. I'm thinking about stuff during that time. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna finish off. Yeah, we're gonna finish off the show with a couple of sponsored questions or a few.
We got sponsors.
Who is this? Lunar Diaries? He's sponsoring some people, man. All right. First up, he's sponsoring a Subgata question. Do you think Nintendo will announce new hardware this year? No, I don't think so.
I think so.
You think so?
I mean, I predicted it last year.
Yes.
You did, yeah. Miss Cleo,
So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He's invoking Miss Cleo.
Yeah. Brett, do you think Nintendo's going to announce any new hardware this year?
I don't think it'll be like new. They may announce something kind of iterative, like a new version of the same goddamn console, because they do that.
You know what? Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen. I changed my answer. It's going to be an updated version of the Switch, or a new model of the Switch, I should say. Not like a Switch 2 or anything like that,
But I guess it just depends on what you've seen. Like, for example, for me, like if it's just an upgrade to like significant upgrade of GPU power or something like that, and CPU power, I see that as a significant upgrade.
Yeah,
not just like an edge. But yeah, if you guys are right, if for example, let's say they just released a Switch LED, we're going back to LED, folks. That doesn't count as part of my prediction, so I would be wrong if that's the only thing that happens.
I guess we'll see. All right. Another sponsored question from Lunar Diaries. This one's from Mob Hits. If you could lay out a roadmap for the big three, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, for this year, what would it be and what would you include? Games. I know that sounds stupid.
Give us the games,
I'm
yo.
serious. I think fucking games, please.
I think he wants to know which games.
Exactly
probably.
which games.
I don't know. Games, man.
Give me no games.
Uncle Phil needs to show at least half of the games that he showed off a few years ago, and they have to be bangers. And Gear 6 needs to come out on that new engine, the Unreal 5, which is taking forever for them to do, and that better be a banger and beat out Halo, which just was a dud.
It was booty juice, man. Redfall obviously needs to come out, which is I think it's going to be their first game, Xbox's first game of the year.
You know what? Let's bring that. Let's go into it, because I was under the impression that it was like Back 4 Blood or Left 4 Dead type thing. And
it kind of is.
They're saying no. They released an official statement explaining what the game is, and it sounds more like Destiny with vampires. Because it was like you're on an island, you're upgrading, there's different high points, it's not broken into chapters, there's a lot of gear to pick up with.
It's the vampire game, right?
Like Borderlands, yeah. And the guy was like saying, no, we're not like Back 4 Blood, more like Destiny and like Borderlands when it comes to like loot and things like that. Just with vampires. I didn't get that from the trailer when we saw it. I thought that's the one with the Afro girl, right? I thought it was a Back 4 Blood type.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I mean, that's what it looked like, because it was just like, we were seeing vampires and they're coming in and we're defending this gas station or something,
That's what I thought. And they were like, no, they it was over the weekend or something like that. One of the developers came out and did like Q&A. It's like, no, it's not like.
Yeah, so, that game, Starfield has to be a hit. It has to. If Starfield is a flop, man, that's going to do really bad, juju for Microsoft. I don't think it's going to be bad. because I have faith in Bethesda, but you never know. So Starfield, and then just one good game that's decent, like a AAA game in the second half of the year. Whether that's Senua's Sacrifice, whether it's definitely not going to be Fable because that shit ain't coming out.
Well, you guys, at least Manny, you're into all of the stuff going on with Konami. What is it true that they're doing a remaster of all the old Metal Gear games?
Not that I know of, and if I did, I couldn't tell you. That rumor has been going on for a bunch of years. To be honest, they pulled all the Metal Gear titles off of everything.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's why the people are thinking.
No, that has to do with because they didn't do their due diligence and essentially renew all the licenses for all those games. So they're literally going through everything and re-upping all the licenses and footage and all that other shit that Kojima had a whole company doing, a whole internal studio doing, untangling those webs. So yeah.
So then, if it does come back, then that's how they do it. They're like, "Ta-da! Guess what? We brought it back! Yay! Is it new?"
I mean, I don't think a lot of people are going to have people are going to have a lot of faith when it comes to this sort of stuff, especially since since their last foray into doing remasters when it was coming directly from Konami and not Kojima's people doing overseeing everything. So we'll see. I don't have a lot of faith in it, but. I'm just going to play it as always. Like it's not going to That's not going to happen. And if it does, I'll be surprised.
All right. The last two sponsored questions from a very good guy, Ramu Death. Very good guy.
Is it good?
First one. This one is another one from Mr. Subgata. How many games do you normally play within a year? He says for him, it's usually 10. For me, before all this bullshit happened, I would say about 12, one a month. On a good year, might be 24, 2 a month. But yeah, cause I don't, by the way, people who like play 50 or something games a year, I don't know how the hell they do it, man. That is like a superpower. Yeah. But yeah, I guess let's just say 12 to 15 on a normal year, It ain't gonna happen this generation. I think I'm gonna play 10 games this entire generation. The way things are going now. Anyway, Adam, what do you have? Like 60 games a year or shit?
I had for Steam said I had like 35 or something, and then the Xbox had like 60 something because they both sent me my yearly report and. It's constant because the thing is if I bump into a wall or if it takes too long in some parts, I don't just keep hammering it. I'll jump to another game and then I'll start playing that and then I'll jump back to the other one. I just flip flop. I go all over. I don't flip flop. I can't just play one all the way through and be like I can't play anything. I'm just focused. No, I bounce around and then eventually I'll finish this and then I'll just move to something else. It's just too many. I get in that mood to play something in particular, and then fuck it. I'm just gonna play that for a while. And then.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. Like if I'm playing a game, that's all the fuck I'm playing. Nothing else, Because I feel like because I have tried that, and I feel like I'm not giving each game its due, and I don't get immersed in them. So I like to just stick with one game, and I know that probably prevents me from playing more games, but. It works for me. I'd rather give my game its all than just little bits here and there, not really by giving my attention. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I'm just like that in general. That's my personality. Even like when I'm eating food, I attack one food first, then the next, then the next. Like I don't really like taking like for example, if I have a burger and fries, I'm not gonna go bite a burger, couple fries first, then the burger, then the drink. So that's just the way I am. Yeah, I'm very regimented when it comes to my shit. Yeah.
I mean, even if I were to do what you do, I would do the burger first, then the fries. Because
I learned that when I was a kid, right? Because I was like, let me eat the thing I want to eat for real first. I eat that. I'm like, fuck, now I got these shitty ass fries. I wanted more burger. I'm like, but then the brain hack is like, Tony, eat the thing you don't want to eat as much first. Then you could psych yourself up for the thing you really want to eat. You know, because the thing is, because you still need the fries to fill you up. You eat a burger, you're not going to be full. You need the fries to fill you up. You know,
fries, if they once after a little while, they get squishy, they get soggy. They don't.
You got to eat them. You got to eat them.
So
yeah,
you have to eat them. So that's why it's like you take a bite, you put it down, you take like 2 fries or whatever. You high five somebody in the background.
Yeah, yo, it's funny. I still remember that when I was a kid. My mom would bring me food and shit. Arroz con plátano or whatever. Whatever. It's like arroz con pollo. I'm like, oh shit, I want the fucking, I want that chicken, right? Eat the chicken. I'm like, man, now there's some more chicken left. I just got rice left. So it's like, Tony, eat the rice first, then you get the chicken. I'm like, oh, and I still eat that way now, man. It's like eat the filler stuff, then you eat what you really want, But that's the way. Even with everything, novels or whatever, I like to focus on one thing first, and that's it, Anyway, Manny, how many games when you used to really play games? How many did you beat a year?
I would say it would probably be half as much because you were a mutant for games. Okay. You literally like complete games in a week. I mean, again, I've always played games slow. It's just as the years have gone on, they've gotten steadily slower, just because of how much time I have. But with some of the new work that I'm doing these days, I'm having a lot more time to do it. But I'm also at the same time, I have the dilemma of like, I could be playing a game, or I could be doing a project that I want to do in my personal projects. And I feel like, especially when it comes to games, there's such a time investment. It's like I could be playing a game, or I could be doing something that would be, something that more interesting. Personal projects might be more interesting.
That's where I'm at these days. By the way, Manny, it's funny you say because you said you beat half the games I did, because you're comparing my older self to me, which means you beat as many games as I do now.
Yes,
before,
so it's like
back in those days, I would beat like a good 30, maybe 40 games. You beat like a good 15 or 20.
Yeah.
If that's
it's gotten steadily lower. I mean, like,
hold on, how many games did you beat last year? Let's see if the ratio still sticks. Because I beat 6 games. Did you just beat 3? I mean, we got to be equal. Again, last year was so bad with games.
Last year, what was the last like
2022?
22. Last year I got a few.
Actually, let's see how many because I got this shit listed too.
I'm gonna go into my.
I'm familiar with this shit too. I always like list the games I beat. Did I beat 6 games? Where the fuck is this?
Okay, here we go.
Oh, here we go. I'll start mines. I beat God of War on PC, Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Saints Row, God of War Ragnarok, and Callisto Protocol. That's 7 games. And I don't count Sonic Origins.
Well, okay, so how do I get to my? I'm just trying to get to my main trophy area here, so I see.
Oh, you're looking at trophies? I literally just write them in a notepad.
I don't do any of that.
While you're doing that.
Okay, here you go. Yeah. So I have. Well, here's the thing. I've beat all the games on the Cowabunga collection, but those are short games. Yeah, those don't count.
Those don't count. If that was the case, then I beat 10 games because you're going to count every game on a Sonic collection. I'm not going to count that.
They can't count that. So last year it was Cowabunga collection. The what's that thing? The Shredder's Revenge, Trek to Yomi, Stray, Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was it. So 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it still tracks out half the games I beat.
Yeah, there you go. I'm still doing it.
Yeah. Brett, on a good year, how many games do you typically beat?
5, 10.
That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, you're a more extreme version of me. Like when it comes to games, like you stick with a fucking game for months.
Oh, I go in hard.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I don't think there's also
different games, though, obviously.
Also, Brett, you don't always complete it. You usually play a game.
That's an insult.
No, it's not an insult at all. He usually sometimes it's when he is done, not when the game is done.
Yeah, I play a game until I'm not having fun anymore, and then I move on.
Yeah.
Remember we used to make fun of torrents all the time because of that.
Torrents.
He's a connoisseur. But to be honest, I think even Brett, like as Brett plays games, it's nothing like what torrents would do. He would just take a little taste and then move on. Brett is still legitimately playing the game, but not going to completion. He's still, so it's like, how is it like you look at the hours for the game that he only just didn't finish, but he's still playing. It's like, it's a different story.
Yeah,
dude, I had this problem too, especially with some of these games now, where like I'll be like, oh, I'm going all in, I'm having fun, I'm doing every single side quest, and like 80% of the way through, I'm like, oh, I played too much, I binged too much of this game. I shouldn't have done every side quest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know the part when and this happened to me years ago on Second Light, the infamous expansion game, where I hit the wall of this feels like fucking work, and why am I doing it? So I stopped playing it. Like, I finished the game, and I just kept on going back and doing those dumb like racing missions and all those stupid collect all the garbage that's hanging around and floating around over buildings. And I'm like, you know what? This is not fun. So I just stopped. Alternatively, Spider-Man has that right amount of level to do that stuff where it doesn't feel so much like busy work. You could literally kill that off.
Yeah, get the platinum in 23 hours, man.
Yeah, the both Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Though Miles Morales, I'm gonna give a little because they have a trophy for getting all the abilities, right? But that involves playing the game over again, and I don't like that.
Yeah. The good thing is if you play the game over again, you don't need to do all the extra shit. You can beat it in 2 hours.
Yeah,
which is what
I just didn't want to play the game. I just wanted to get me. I'm one and done,
baby.
I'm going one and done. If I'm going one and done, and you're gonna make me come back and play this game again, that's what I mean. Again, it's a fun game, but at the same time, I'm like, don't hide a bunch of moves in the second portion of in New Game Plus. Don't pull that shit. That's a padding right there.
Yeah. Did everybody go?
4 to 5 these days.
All right, man. And the last question is another extra one from J Shep. Here we go. Let's just go with it. Apparently, there's some controversy with the Hogwarts Legacy game. Does anyone know what's going on? Basically, some people are not happy with J.K. Rowling for reasons, and they want to boycott the game so she doesn't make any money. They claim that that the developers have already gotten paid, so you're not going to take money off of them. You're just going to hurt J.K. Rowling, which is what they want, and that's what's happening.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is in a nutshell. It's just that something that she did was just obviously not seen as conducive, and that they want to just it's this thing always crops up with her and the Harry Potter franchise whenever something new Harry Potter related comes out. When the Fantastic Beasts thing came out, right? When that came out, that also reared its head along with the Johnny Depp shit. And even the Harry Potter play, that's the Broadway show that's currently in New York. But I want to say this: when it comes to the Twitter bubble, and I think a lot of this is Twitter bubble stuff, and the regular public, there's a big difference. As much as people say online, "Oh, you should boycott this, you should do this," it's probably going to make a lot of money, especially with the amount of work that they're doing it. I think a lot of people are not in the know as to what she had said. It's like saying GTA has controversy. It always has controversy every time a new GTA comes out because people are always going to have, there's always people that have issues with certain things, with different things, depending on what it is. So, same thing
it's not the same thing because the main difference is now regular fans that are excited for the game are getting attacked. That's different.
I mean, it's
people who express their desire to play the game are getting attacked.
I know people who got attacked for saying that GTA 5 couldn't run on a Switch. So there's fucking crazy people all the fucking time, and there's the same thing. There's people who attack people that shouldn't. That shouldn't be the case. But at the end of the day, this game is going to come out, and if it's good, it's going to sell. If it's not, it's going to get maligned. Just like anything with Harry Potter, just like how the park opened in Universal Studios, and it's a huge hit. Every time it's packed with people trying to get their wands and shit.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think this game, even now, because its pre-orders went up, it's surprise, is selling very well. So
there's a lot. I mean, that's like the new. There's a lot of nostalgia behind that thing now. Which is crazy to say, especially us when we totally skipped that.
I was too old for that.
Too old for that stuff. But there's a lot of nostalgia for that because of just because of what they people remembering. And then again, like imagine imagine going into one of your favorite book worlds and essentially being able to do all the things that you did in the book and as well as in the film versions of that thing. Yeah. And I think that's what they're trying to sort of do with this idea.
I'm not going to give my comments on the controversy itself because, I also don't want to get canceled. But I will say, and I've said this before about this game, this game looks way better than it should. Because I'm like, what the fuck are these graphics?
Yeah, no, I mean, to be honest, I feel like
I'll say this. It sucks that I'm not a Harry Potter fan because I would have played this game just because of the graphics. But I don't know that world, so I'm not going to understand it, But it looks fucking nice, man.
I mean, to be honest, like the way most games are done, they're not going to like depend so hardcore on whatever the books are. But I also think that the fact that you don't care for, I don't think you need to be into Harry Potter to know
it's the
this.
Kitty
but I think
shit, man, you know me.
But it's the kitty shit. I think it's that. I feel like this is the same sort of similar sort of situation that's happening with the Avatar films, where a lot of people where there was no actual reaction on Twitter for Avatar.
Now it's $1.5 billion.
But now it's making $1 billion because I think in general when it comes to Twitterverse things, I think it's two different worlds, and sometimes the reality aligns with the reality, the Twitter realm and the reality align, and sometimes they are way off.
Yeah.
And I feel like despite all the how much certain people in the public would want this thing to fail, I think it's going to do the opposite just because of the power of this Harry Potter franchise.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I don't want to deal with it anymore with that topic. But we answer the question, so that's what counts. Anyway, man, we're done. Went a little longer than normal, but people have never complained about long shows, so that's okay. Never in our history, This is a short one. What's it short? All right, good stuff, man. Do we have anything to plug around here?
I mean, I guess I'll do it a little longer. If you guys know that I did, 4 episodes of Throwdown Drawers, which are on the YouTube right now, which is me drawing some Edge Runner fan art and stuff like that. So that's all on there if you have time, or you can speed it up too. I also have nice little chapters in there if you want to skip to the different sections where I drew. So you can also do that. Make sure to do that. So yeah, that's all currently on our Throwdown YouTube. And as far as anything else, it remains to be seen.
All right, Adam, man, what you got?
Nothing too much. I mean, we're still waiting for Fear the Walking Dead to come back for the IM. And no date on that. They said early next year. We're next year, so I don't know. I'm getting
where's the speculation show? Where's IM Negan speculation?
Speculation, right? And just a lot of stuff that we're working behind the scenes for the Coalition. We got some another channel, Coalition Gaming. So you can go ahead and click on that, especially if you're already following the Coalition. You can just click on that one because that one's just going to be all gaming, and that'll cover all the stuff that we plan on doing, covering about the games that we review on the site and other things that come along our path. So that's pretty much it. We're just focusing a lot on the changes that logo going on with that. A lot of people seem to like that. I like it. Cool colors. And
Yeah, good. I really like it, man. It's good stuff.
yeah, it's cool. So yeah, that's it. Just keep an eye on that.
Good stuff. I don't usually do this, but yeah, go to Tom's Guide, man. We got a lot of good CES coverage. I covered pretty much every like big name laptop that came out that was revealed. So your boy was busy, man. So go check out our hard work over there. It's gonna be good stuff. Also, I will not be here on Thursday, so Manny's probably going to be hosting the show. I may pop up at the end like I did that one time, you know. Thankfully, because I don't live that far from the city anymore, you know.
No, you literally can make it back within us recording.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I probably won't be able to say too much about it that day, but I will be watching a certain show based on a certain video game that I'm not a fan of. Big Sony game. I think you could guess what it is. So I was, my friend was like, hey, you got an extra ticket. You want to come? I'm like, I don't really care about this show, but I haven't seen you in a while. Sure. That was literally it, so that'll be fun. So, yeah, you guys will hold it down because we were considering moving it to Wednesday, but it's like we don't want to start mixing the schedule up on you too early in the year. You know?
So early in the year. Yeah.
Yeah, but I may show up. Who knows? Anyway, man, thank you for watching and listening. As always, Throwdown is back, man. 2023. Let's go. In effect, we not skipping no episodes, man. Anyway, make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Join the Discord where the conversations and the rumors are always popping. You could check us out on any podcast app of your choice. Throwdown Show. That's Throwdown Show 2 words. Throwdownshow.com to listen to previous episodes. And if you've been watching us on YouTube and enjoyed the content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our premieres go live. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
Have a good week, people.
And Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
Later, people.
All right, here.
What's Chris's one again?
Hey, take care, everyone.
There you go. All right, people. We'll see you later.
Peace.